on, guys and gals? It's Friday, and you know what that means, gentlemen?
Comics,
etc.
So, just like every other day, we are going to be reviewing some comics that we're going to be going over. Remember, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. We might look at them.
Seriously, guys, come on. Help us help you.
I'll likely be the one to read them, because I don't have much to do. I don't read many of them.
Wow, taking it for depressing. I'll probably read them because nobody likes me, and I lost my tail. Thank you, Eeyore. But actually, this week, Mr. Red King is going to be joining us again. Apparently can't get enough of his own segments. You want to jump in with Mr. Hueth and I? Can you blame him? No, I mean, we're so much fun here. But yeah, we're going to start him up now, starting with your new favorite red hero.
Hey guys, good to be back here again. This is actually really fun. I really enjoyed this segment. My first pick of this week is I actually got to read some new ones. Both of mine are actually new series that just started. My first one for this one is New 52 Suicide Squad #1. So there was a Suicide Squad out already, but it sucked. I guess it got good at like the 28th issue or something like that, but that's a long time to go. This one, since this is the first reboot, they actually reintroduce the previous Suicide Squad. Then they bring in 3 new people into the squad, which is Deathstroke, who's my absolute favorite. Love Deathstroke. Joker's daughter, which was a crazy, crazy addition. Really enjoyed it. And Black Manta. Black Manta was a good choice just because of how cool he was. And the whole premise behind it and what they're actually doing for this comic is actually really cool. How they're set up and everything like that. I really enjoyed this first issue, whereas the first Suicide Squad, I was very iffy all the way through. I would put this, because Deathstroke is in it, he's one of my absolute favorite villains, / mercenary, hitman, murderer dudes, I would give this one a 8 out of 10. Just because I like the art style, I like what they're going with the story, I do like the conflict they involve in this as well, between, I mean, just easily said it's Joker's daughter and Harley Quinn. That definitely sets off some problems, some bells, but overall, very good, really enjoyed it. Go pick it up today.
Alright, so for my first review, I'm going to be going over X Factor issue 7. Now, I've talked about this one a couple times during these review sessions, and unfortunately, it's kind of gone downhill from here. So, let me start with some good stuff about it. This is the issue that's going to be introducing Domino onto the team. Now, if you don't know Domino, just go look for Domino. One of my other favorite things about this issue is Marrow and Dr. Nemesis have a wonderful little dialogue, where it seems like it's going to kind of come into play later, but it was in a fun way. It had kind of a nice little personality clash there, and it kind of felt nice. One of the things that I'm kind of interested in is how this story arc is going to go. So it looks like it could be promising, but it could go south very quickly. Now on to some stuff that I really don't like about it. The writing in this one seems to be a lot less, I don't want to say mature, but let me put it this way. They use the word noob like it's normal day conversation. I'm not one of those people that believes in that. It's against my religion of being a normal human. Pretty much, the writing is kind of weak in some spots, and they use some lingo that it's just not meshing well with the entire feel of the story. The art style in this, there's spots where it's gorgeous, it's got the grittiness to it, it feels right. And then there's most of the other times when it just doesn't look right. There's a couple panels where Psylocke looks like her head is like attached to one arm, and she's like, hey, it's very confusing. Overall, issue number 7 of X-Force gets a 5 out of 10.
Alrighty, so for my first review for today, I'm going to do Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara came back actually in the Superior Spider-Man line to deal with an issue regarding his grandfather who was possibly being erased from the timeline, and he needed to stop that from happening so that he wouldn't, be erased. Miguel, he's a funny character. He's different kind of funny from Peter, where Miguel comes across as a little bit of a stronger character with just sort of unfortunate circumstance he has to deal with. His supporting character is really interesting. His grandfather is a bit of a wad, but it'll be interesting to see that kind of dynamic. The romantic element they're setting up here with this pink-haired girl who showed up in an earlier issue of Spider-Man that he helped. She seems pretty cool. not like your typical Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy. Miguel isn't the same kind of humorist that Peter is, but he is still a funny guy, and so it's nice seeing him banter a little bit with his enemies. And seeing his enemy banter with him as well. His enemy in this one, not to give too much away, but it involved Miguel's time traveling, how it was, potentially dangerous and stuff like that. And it dropped a pretty interesting hint as to what's going to be happening to Miguel coming up soon and Norman Osborn's daughter. On the negative side of things, I did think it was really strange that he rented an apartment with his real name. If you would want to cover your name up like that, why would you tell people your name is Miguel? And the issue did also wrap up a little too neatly for me. Didn't really drop like a main plot event that's going to be following the next couple ones. So I'm wondering if it is going to be more of a like contained little episodes. Overall, I thought it was a really, really, really good issue. Really fun. If you're looking for something new to pick up and you like Spider-Man in any capacity, definitely pick this up. 8 out of 10. Check it out.
Alright guys, so for my second review, this is actually a brand new series by Image Comics. It's called Death's Vigil. And it's just Death Vigil. Death Vigil. It's really good. It's a brand new series they just came up with. God, this was a really good way. It's not set up like how Death Note is and all that stuff where it's like crazy monsters and whatnot. It's not set in reality, because that's too much to say, but the characters are very interesting. I really like their stories. I really like where they're coming from. Like, they definitely seem more like people instead of just reapers who are bored and trying to have some life. They are definitely fallible in this story, and they just seem overall like very interesting characters to follow. I mean, in the first issue, you get 2 new Reapers from the start, and it's really cool. I really love the way they set it up. They even throw in some, like, if you're into mythology, especially Norse mythology, they kind of throw a hint towards you, which is really cool. I really loved when that appeared up. Overall, this one I would give, for me, because of art style, the story, and how much it captured me, this is a 10 out of 10. That's a very high ranking for this one. I'm never going to give anything else a 10 out of 10. I can guarantee you that. I'm probably lying, but this right now is my 10 out of 10. Definitely go pick this up, because this is one of the best.
Alright, for my next review, I'm going to be going over Batman Detective Comics, issue number 33. If you haven't been following this series, it's a very interesting arc so far. They're going over a lot more stuff about Batman actually being a detective, in his title of the world's greatest detective. We haven't been seeing a lot of detective work in the other series, so we're looking at all the stuff right here. The art in this series is fantastic. If you haven't at least looked at this book yet, you've done yourself an injustice. You need to open it up, you need to look at it, you need to be like, oh, yeah, he's right, oh yeah, because I am right. And you'll find out I'm right. And you'll like yourself being right about me being right. So this issue has a variant that I personally enjoy. It's very retro variant. I personally enjoy a lot of retro things, like Terminator in the 60s and Pilgrims. The characters are well written. Bullock is awesome. If you don't know who Harvey Bullock is in the Batman series, he's the big fat detective. That's all you need to know. Because once you read this, you'll be even more interested in him and you'll understand why I think he's awesome. Now, the thing that I'm kind of upset about, though, is in this issue, no one got set on fire. Kind of bums me out. Overall, I give Batman Detective Comics a 9 out of 10. A must-see, must-pick up.
Alright, for my second review, I'm really excited for this one. It's the new Grayson series from DC. Grayson is one of my favorite characters of all time. He tries to go about juggling his real life with the superheroes, and you don't really notice that with like Batman, Wonder Woman. Dick Grayson has always been a much more believable character, but now he doesn't have his secret identity anymore because of the events of Forever Evil. He's not like super gritty. He's still got that Dick Grayson charm, that Dick Grayson humor. I'm interested to see what's going on with these Spiral fellas that he's working for, because he's obviously not totally aligned with them. There was a little point where he's talking to Mr. Malone, and I'm wondering if some of you know certain heroes street level alter egos, and maybe it's someone else, but either way, that's really exciting. Ultimately, anything Dick Grayson related is great. The art is great, the characterization feels right. I love Dick Grayson, I love this series. 8.5 out of 10. The only reason I didn't give it a straight 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10 was because the last couple pages were a bit bizarre. You know, they focused their whole issue on securing this one person, and at the very last page, the leader of Spiral is like, "But I really want to catalog all of the superhumans." And I was like, "Where did that come from, bro? We didn't talk about that before. It's not cool." I loved it, Grayson. 8.5 out of 10. I believe is what I said, so I'm gonna stick with that. Yes. Yes.
And here we are again at our wonderful segment in which we talk about Future's End. Today's issue is issue number 10. And, well, what do we really have to say about this issue?
I don't remember crap about this issue.
What we can say is we're sad. Last week you may have remembered the glimmer of hopeful optimism. Just the iota of faith in the series.
Dashed. It's like someone took the salt and threw it in your eyes.
It was as if someone threw something at your eyes and you were expecting salt, but it was actually nothing they threw at your eyes.
That is a better
And the
example.
entire thing was anticlimactic. It's just nothing really happened. I read this issue, and I was reading it, and suddenly it was over in that same fashion we've been talking about before, where it just
Ends. This was literally the worst kind of filler I can imagine, because instead of giving me something where at least I was like, oh, this is more interesting information, it didn't give me anything. I literally, maybe there was one or two things, but they're not even, I don't even know if they're worth mentioning.
I think there's one thing I find worth mentioning, but it also has a downside. They introduced Big Barda's, her actual story in this arc.
Earth 2 Big Barda, yeah.
I was super stoked. I'm like, what? It's Barda. Awesome. And then I realized we had another arc in the series. Another one. Because we didn't have enough
he's
already.
so right. I didn't think about that.
How many do we have now?
7. Wait. Terry
McGinnis.
Grifter. Tim Drake?
Technically Tim Drake.
Superman. Lois.
That's 5 already.
Barda.
Now.
Stormwatch and Frankenstein.
Stormwatch and Frankenstein. Mr. Terrific.
Why'd you have to do that?
Oh! Firestorm.
Oh, Firestorm.
Because I hate his face so much, I'll always remember.
Oh, and not Brainiac.
Not Brainiac. There are 10 arcs in this series alone, and they introduced, basically, which came out to be the 10th arc. I usually enjoy, because they definitely have Terry McGinnis in this one, the Batman Beyond, and I usually enjoy when he shows up, and I'm like, yes, there's going to be something interesting, and it was probably the most, for me, it was the most fascinating filler, because it was like, oh, there's something developing for your thing. But that was it.
Yeah.
Just everything else, I just didn't care
this
about.
Is a lie. This cover, it kind of happens, but doesn't really. It's a lie.
No, yeah, he's right. I mean, overall, for me, I'm going to give this one, this is a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Easy. I'm with him on this
Easy.
one. 4 out of 10.
I give this one a Tonga Death Grip out of Granny Goodness. Oh my!
Yeah, no, it was.
And that's our review on Future's End.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm going home.
Oh,
This.
that was so much fun. All those reviews we just did. But no, thank you for joining us again. We're very happy that people have been watching, people have been enjoying, even getting comments, and it's really exciting us, So we're having fun. We hope you're having fun. As we mentioned earlier, feel free to contact us any way you can. Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and the messages down below, or the comments down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see. Yeah, just keep in touch. We're friendly guys.
Except him.
We're going to have some more videos up for you. Starting this Monday, we're going to be starting a new segment, Miscellaneous Mondays. And it's just going to be all sorts of humor, nonsense, junk, just the best stuff.
Any random stuff we can really come up with that we feel is entertaining. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and always remember who you are and what you are.
Don't go causing any trouble out there in that crazy world.
Remember that you got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend.
Oh, baby, you got what I need.
I can't contribute.
You say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend.